resistance when they're going to come after us.
Yeah, they don't like it when people got the stuff, but in fact, speaking of, here's some guys out there. I don't know if they're cadets or what they are, but anyway. What happened is I'll tell you what some of my problems with the legislation and some laws and stuff that happened to me. Like I say, I used to collect guns from all over the world and all sorts of countries. Everything was purchased with a gun permit. Everything done legally according to legislation. We had a room full of bars and concrete to put all of our guns in properly. Everything done to meet the legislation and responsibility of being a proper firearms owner. And then the so-called assault rifle ban came in. Next thing you know, I get a letter from the RCMP saying, you own this, all listed off a whole bunch of guns. And they say these are now prohibited or restricted under legislation. Hand them over, no compensation. Yep. And I looked at the letter, and I'm figuring, wait a sec, I spent $1,500 on one rifle that you people allowed to import into Canada, gave a license for the dealer to sell it, gave a permit to me after passing police checks to purchase this firearm and own it, and I did all this stuff according to legislation, and then a year later you turn around and say, okay, we changed our mind, hand it over, no money back. I said, screw you guys, I hid all my guns on them, and I refused to comply on it. Next thing you know, I have the SWAT team coming to my door, and they were unsuccessful in their quest. Aliens came by and beamed them all up, and I don't know where they went. I think they went to Venus or something. So anyway, that didn't work out. But the funny thing is I found the police coming in at the 4:30 in the morning. They were around the corner from my house and shutting the neighborhood down, and all because an ex-girlfriend ratted me out because she didn't like the new girlfriend I had. So what happened is I went around the corner and found the police there, and they were putting on their tactical vests, and I walked up behind them in the dark and started talking to him. He says, what's your name? I said, Don Lindsay. And he looked at the paper, oh, you're under arrest. So what happened is he said, where's your guns? I said, well, you go into the house, you grab the washing machine, pull that out, grab the wall, pull that out, and there's a whole room full of guns in there. And so they had me handcuffed and locked me in the car and drove me off to jail. And the guy I live with, he was also firearms owner and all licensed and everything like that. We were both collectors. So the police, he was there to witness the whole thing as they went through the wall and checked everything out. But all the guns in there were perfectly legit, all legal, nothing that we could get busted for. But so that didn't work out for them. And then the long gun registry came in just a short time after that. And then that whole room full of guns that they had just been in, I hid it on them for 17 years, and I wouldn't tell them where my guns went. But see, most people denied and made up stories saying they didn't know what happened to the guns. Oh yeah, I sold them, I don't have them anymore, and all sorts of things. I didn't do that. I actually told them, yes, I got it, and to hell with you, I'm not going to comply, and all this sort of thing. So much to the point where they'd show up at my work and wait for me in the parking lot with their cruiser, and I'd have to go up and sit in the car, and like one cop, he says, where's your guns? And I said, in a safe place. And I said, which guns you looking for? He says, the ones you're hiding. I said, oh, I told you, the government legislated me a criminal. I did nothing wrong. And he says, well, we have to enforce the law. And I said, well, I don't agree with that law. And he says, well, if you give it to me now, I won't charge you for it. I said, well, if you can't find it, you can't charge me for it. So anyway, that didn't work out for them. And then let's see, so that was the assault rifle ban, then the long gun registry, and then the short-barreled handgun legislation came in, brought in by Jean Chrétien, who is probably one of my least favorite people in Canada. Yeah. And when that bill came in, I had this .357 Magnum, Dan Wesson pistol pack, 4 interchangeable barrels. I paid $898 for it when I was around 18 or so. Had the thing for about 14 years or something like that. All licensed, everything, permits, everything above board. Everything was all legal. And then when Chrétien came in, they went and changed the gun legislation and made handguns with short barrels prohibited. And unless you filled out a piece of paper, then they would go and assume that, okay, well, you don't want the gun. Which is just stupid logic, because if I own it, I should automatically be grandfathered. It's mine. I shouldn't have to be filling out applications to retain what I already own. They're the ones that already know it. I wasn't hiding. They already had a register of it. So what happened is I go to change my address. And my father is crippled, basically gone into the years. His legs went out from underneath him and he couldn't do much anymore. And my parents are pastors. My father's running a home for abused children since 1978, worked with prison parole and people, drug and alcohol counseling, and help people in the community. He has the Order of Wasaga Beach, given to him by the mayor and provincial people and all that sort of thing for helping the community. They gave him a plaque in recognition of him doing the Civil War reenactments up at Wasaga Beach that some of you may have seen up there. And we have a cannon, a full-size cannon in the garage that works. And we have the muskets, pistol, swords. We've done Wild West shows, Civil War reenactment type stuff. So what happens, my dad calls me up and he says, the tenants moved out, I can't walk anymore, the house is falling apart, you move up here. So I go and do as a proper gun owner is supposed to do, and I called the gun legislation people in Miramichi there to ask for a permit to transport my handgun from my address in Barrie to Wasaga Beach. Next thing you know, the woman on the phone is telling me that there's no record of my gun, and I'm in violation, and I have to give my handgun to the police. And I'm saying, wait a sec, I've got all the paperwork on this thing. I just gave you my address, my new address. Send me the paperwork to the new address, and we'll get this thing taken care of.